This winter storm is absolutely devastating more areas across Canada right now. And what I am about to show you will change how you see this winter forever. 171 people are already confirmed dead from winter storms this season. Street. John's, Newfoundland, just shattered its all-time monthly snowfall record with 178 centimeters in February alone. Toronto recorded 88 centimeters of snow in a single month, breaking an 87-year-old record. And here is the kicker. The worst is not over. Not even close. A massive Arctic blast is preparing to slam eastern Canada this weekend, with temperatures plunging to minus 21 degrees Celsius. Multiple provinces are under active warnings right now as I am recording this. And the meteorological pattern that is causing all of this shows absolutely no signs of breaking until late April at the earliest. Drop a comment right now and tell me where you are watching from and what the weather is like in your area. I need to know how many of you are dealing with this right out your window right now, because this is affecting millions of people across the country. Let me show you exactly what is happening across Canada at this very moment. It is Thursday, February 27th, 2026, and we have got concurrent storm systems hammering the country from coast to coast. Alberta is under a yellow snowfall warning right now. The warning went out at 4:32 a.m. Mountain Time this morning, covering Calgary, southern Alberta, the foothills, and the Cypress Hills. They are expecting 15 to 30 centimeters of snow with the highest amounts in the foothills. Calgary specifically is looking at around 7 centimeters before it starts melting late Friday. But here is what makes this dangerous. The Icefields Parkway, north of Lake Louise, is forecast to receive over 30 centimeters, with wind gusts hitting 50 kilometers per hour. Edmonton is dealing with flurries and wind gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour or more. They are even forecasting thunder, lightning, and small hail. Lethbridge saw wind gusts up to 130 kilometers per hour on Thursday. 130. That is hurricane force. Medicine Hat is getting gusts near 90 kilometers per hour. This snow is not ending until late Friday night to early Saturday morning. Manitoba is getting absolutely pummeled right now. They have got a blizzard warning in effect. This was issued at 11 a.m. on February 26th for Lake Winnipegosis, Lake Winnipeg North and South Basins, and Lake Manitoba. Near zero visibility is expected from early Friday through overnight. But it does not stop there. Yellow blowing snow advisories went out at 3:36 p.m. Central Time on February 26th, covering all of southern Manitoba. Winnipeg, Brandon, Portage-la Prairie, Steinbach, Morden, Winkler, Selkirk, Dauphin, Swan River, all of them. Wind gusts are hitting 60 to 80 kilometers per hour, especially in the Red River Valley. And on top of that, extreme cold warnings are active across northern Manitoba, with wind chills near minus 45 degrees Celsius overnight Thursday into Friday. Frostbite can happen in under 5 minutes in those conditions. Northwestern Ontario just got hit with a special weather statement issued at 3:35 a.m. Eastern Time this morning for Thunder Bay and the surrounding region. A cold front is sweeping through with strong winds, gusting 70 to 80 kilometers per hour from late morning through evening. Snow squalls are possible, 2 to 5 centimeters of snow. Blowing snow, reducing visibility. Friday night, the temperature is dropping to minus 24 degrees Celsius with a wind chill near minus 31. Kenora, Dryden, Red Lake, Fort Francis, Atikokan are all affected with temperatures dropping to minus 25 and wind chills hitting minus 33 Friday night. Right now at this moment, Toronto Pearson Airport is sitting at minus 5.2 Celsius with a wind chill of minus 7. Ottawa MacDonald Cartier Airport is at minus 8.4 Celsius with light snow falling and a wind chill of minus 13. Montreal Trudeau Airport is minus 8.3 Celsius with mostly cloudy skies and a wind chill of minus 12. Thunder Bay is minus 9.6 Celsius and cloudy. Halifax Stanfield is minus 1.6 Celsius with mostly cloudy conditions and a wind chill of minus 6. But here is where this gets genuinely terrifying. The forecast for the next 72 hours shows a major Arctic blast incoming. Meteorologists are tracking what they call the tropospheric polar vortex circulation near Greenland that is moving west across Arctic Canada. It is combining with a cold pool over Alaska to send multiple blasts of Arctic air south into Canada. Let me break down exactly what is coming. Toronto is dropping Saturday night to -9 degrees Celsius. Sunday, the high only reaches -5. Monday night plunges to -13. Ottawa is falling Saturday night to -16 degrees Celsius. Sunday night hits -21. Monday, the high is only -10. Montreal goes from 8 degrees on Saturday to periods of snow Saturday night at -10. Sunday night crashes to -19. Halifax collapses from 2 degrees Sunday to -15 Sunday night. Monday high is -6. Saturday night, February 28th, marks the dramatic Arctic plunge across eastern Canada. Ottawa and Montreal could see overnight lows of -16 to -21 degrees Celsius. Those are potentially among the coldest late February, early March readings this century. The Weather Network's spring forecast confirms colder than normal temperatures are expected to dominate through March and well into April. This is not a normal winter. This is something else entirely. If this information is helping you prepare and stay safe, hit that like button and share this video with everyone you know. Your engagement helps us reach people who desperately need this information to make critical decisions about their safety. Now let me show you what just happened in the last few days, because this context is absolutely critical. A historic bomb cyclone nor'easter, unofficially named Winter Storm Hernando, originated from a shortwave trough that moved ashore on the U.S. West Coast on February 20th. The surface low rapidly intensified off the southeastern United States on February 22nd. It brought blizzard conditions to the U.S. Northeast on February 23rd, then tracked into Atlantic Canada later that day, before exiting by February 24th. In the United States, this storm dumped 61 to 91 centimeters of snow across the northeastern megalopolis. Wind gusts hit 158 kilometers per hour at Wellfleet, Massachusetts. Over 600,000 power outages, at least 7 confirmed deaths. But the Canadian impacts were devastating. Nova Scotia got slammed with 41 centimeters at Newcombeville, 25 to 35 centimeters across most of the province. Thundersnow on the South Shore. Waist-deep snowdrifts, wind gusts of 160 kilometers per hour at St. Joseph du Moines, Cape Breton. That is near hurricane force, folks. 4,450 Nova Scotia power customers lost power by 6 p.m. on February 23rd. Halifax municipal offices, libraries, and facilities shut down. Halifax Stanfield International Airport canceled flights. New Brunswick received up to 30 centimeters. Moncton recorded 27 centimeters. Coastal wind gusts reaching 90 kilometers per hour. Schools closed on February 23rd. Prince Edward Island got 15 to 25 centimeters with gusts of 60 to 80 kilometers per hour. Charlottetown recorded 19 centimeters. Summerside, 16 centimeters. Schools closed for the next day. Newfoundland and Labrador got absolutely buried, up to 50-plus centimeters in eastern Newfoundland, 25 centimeters in parts of eastern Labrador. Wind gusts to 100 kilometers per hour along coastal areas. The provincial government closed all buildings in St. John's Metro on February 23rd. Memorial University and College of the North Atlantic shut down. Schools closed for 3 consecutive days. And this is on top of what Newfoundland has already endured this winter. St. John's just broke its all-time monthly snowfall record. 178.2 centimeters fell in February. 1,300.2 centimeters. The previous February record was 170.1 centimeters set in 2006. Records go back to 1942. Street. Johns has received 376.4 centimeters total this winter. That already exceeds the average annual total of around 360 centimeters, and winter is not even over yet. About 100 centimeters fell within a single week in mid to late February due to back-to-back storms. Paradise, a St. John's suburb, received 150-plus centimeters in 1 week. An observer named Lloyd Lehman measured 79.5 centimeters in a single day. There were 48 consecutive hours of snowfall observations at St. John's International Airport in mid-February. At least 4 storms have forced school closures in Metro St. John's since December 1st. The federal government had to grant permission for street johns to dump excess snow into the Atlantic Ocean because the city literally ran out of places to put it. Subscribe to this channel right now because this pattern is continuing and you need these updates to stay ahead of what is coming. More storms are forecast, and I will be breaking down every single development. Let me show you what happened in Ontario because this is where some of the most extreme records were broken. Toronto recorded 88.2 centimeters of snow in January alone. That is the snowiest single month since records began in 1937. The normal January snowfall is around 31 centimeters. On January 25th, downtown Toronto got slammed with 61 centimeters in a single day. That shattered the previous record of 39.9 centimeters set on February 25th, 1965. Pearson Airport recorded 46 centimeters that same day, also a record since 1937. Toronto declared a major snowstorm condition on January 25th that remained in effect through at least February 9th. 600 plows were deployed. 1,300 plus city staff and contractors were mobilized. 150,000 tons of snow were removed by early February. Over 60% of 900 plus flights at Pearson were canceled. Thunder Bay received about 57 centimeters in February alone. That is more than double the long-term February average of 27 centimeters. Quebec saw significant impacts as well. Montreal winter total reached 121 centimeters by mid-season. Normal is 92 centimeters, well above average. Septiles hit 223 centimeters compared to a normal 161. That is 138% of normal. On January 24th to 26th, an equipment failure at the aging Hampstead substation left over 20,000 customers without power at peak. 5,000 plus were still without power Monday evening. One woman was found dead in a Montreal West home during the outage. 50 plus people used warming centers in Côte-des-Neiges. Multiple schools in NDG, Côte-Saint-Luc and Saint-Laurent closed. The prairies got absolutely devastated in mid-February. A slow-moving Montana low delivered up to 40 centimeters across parts of Saskatchewan and Alberta, with wind chill values reaching -40 to -50 degrees Celsius. Alberta saw 15 to 40 centimeters province-wide. Calgary recorded 22.9 centimeters with wind chill -31. Calgary police reported 190 collisions in a single day with 24 involving injuries. 23 flights were canceled at Calgary International. The QE2 highway between Edmonton and Red Deer was completely closed. RCMP described roads as virtually impassable, with up to 100 vehicles caught on the highway. Saskatchewan received up to 40 centimeters in some areas with orange level alerts, which is unusual severity. One person was killed in a crash involving 3 semi-trailer trucks at Broadview. Sask Power had outages in southwest communities, including Maple Creek, East End Shaunavon, and Frontier, with multiple downed power poles. There were 82 collision reports and 25 weather-related reports in a single overnight period. Manitoba saw 15 to 25 centimeters across southern Manitoba. All Winnipeg schools closed for the first time since 2022. Blizzard conditions with near zero visibility. Trans-Canada highway sections and multiple major highways shut down. Wind gusts hit 70 kilometers per hour. But nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to what happened at Pimachikamak Cree Nation in Manitoba. This is one of the most devastating infrastructure failures of the entire winter. On December 28, 2025, a 300-meter, 48-year-old Manitoba hydro transmission line crossing the Nelson River snapped. It cut power to approximately 7,000 people during temperatures below -20 Celsius. Power was not restored until January 2nd. That is a 4-day outage in the dead of winter. About 4,400 people had to be evacuated to Winnipeg Thompson Norway House in Brandon. 1,300 plus homes were damaged, essentially the entire housing stock. At least 200 were declared unlivable initially, with 73 more identified later. Burst pipes, frozen pipes, flooded crawl spaces, sewage backups in most homes. The water treatment plant was compromised. A boil water advisory was issued. 14 portable school classrooms were damaged beyond use, affecting around 600 students. Black mold started developing in some homes. At least 5 small fires occurred from water seeping into electrical sockets. The Canadian Armed Forces had to be deployed on January 9th. The mission was completed on January 23rd. The Canadian Red Cross shipped 500+ generators and 600 heaters. The estimated repair cost is a minimum of $44 million. This was Pimachikamak's 3rd evacuation in under a year. They had 2 prior evacuations for wildfires in 2025. Hit that subscribe button again if you have not already, because this content saves lives and you need to stay informed as this winter crisis continues to unfold. More extreme weather is coming. Now let me explain exactly why this is happening, because understanding the science is critical to understanding what is coming next. This winter is dominated by a polar vortex disruption. The polar vortex is a large area of low pressure and cold air surrounding both of Earth's poles. It always exists near the poles but weakens in summer and strengthens in winter. The term vortex refers to the counter-clockwise flow of air that helps keep the colder air near the poles. There was an exceptionally early disruption of the polar vortex this season. It happened in November to December 2025. The Weather Network called it a rare atmospheric shift. The vortex split in early December, producing 2 distinct lobes. Only 3 comparable early season events occurred in the past 70 years. 1958, 1968, 2000. All 3 historical analogs created cold weather over Canada. In late December, Braeburn, Yukon recorded -55.7 degrees Celsius. That is the coldest December temperature in Canada in 50 years. Then in January 2026, a deformed, elongated polar vortex core pushed directly over the prairies and into southern and eastern Canada. Wind chills of -45 to -50 Celsius swept across Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Northwestern Ontario. Environment Canada. Meteorologists confirmed the vortex became statistically significant across southern and central Saskatchewan and Manitoba. But it got worse. A major stratospheric sudden warming event was confirmed in early February. It entered the early phase by February 6th. Temperatures peaked over 40 degrees Celsius above normal in the stratosphere at the 10 millibar level. This triggered a full polar vortex split and collapse in mid-February. The cold weather impacts are expected to extend into early spring. Severe Weather Europe analysts describe a blocking high over northeastern Canada and Greenland, persisting into mid-February as a very clear signature of a collapsed polar vortex circulation. On top of that, we have got a weak La Niña present through winter 2025-2026. NOAA Climate Prediction Center maintained a La Niña advisory through February 2026. The Nino 3.4 sea surface temperature anomaly for November to January was -0.61 degrees Celsius. The La Niña threshold is -0.5. By the week of February 11th, Nino 3.4 had warmed to -0.2, indicating rapid weakening. We are transitioning to ENSO neutral, expected February to April, with 60% probability. La Niña promoted a blocking high in the North Pacific and a low-pressure trough over Canada, redirecting the polar jet stream southward. There is also a Greenland blocking pattern. A powerful blocking pattern developed in the first week of January, creating a strong north-south jet stream configuration. We have got a negative Arctic oscillation, where high pressure over the Arctic weakened polar winds, allowing cold air to spill southward. The jet stream became highly amplified and unstable. Meteorologists are describing this as a double-barrel setup, where both the stratospheric driver, which is the polar vortex, and the oceanic driver, which is La Niña, align to produce prolonged and severe cold. This is not normal. This is a rare confluence of multiple atmospheric patterns, all working together to create what Environment Canada climatologists are calling a truly Canadian winter. And the impacts go far beyond just cold and snow. Let me show you the transportation chaos this has caused. Approximately 6,100 plus disrupted flights have affected 560,000 plus passengers across 53 consecutive days of elevated disruption from January 1st to February 23rd. On January 25th to 26th, over 560 flights were canceled at Pearson by 3 p.m. That is over 60% of 900 plus scheduled flights. 33 were canceled at Billy Bishop. On January 2nd, there were 598 delays plus 98 cancellations across Canadian major airports. On February 17th to 18th, 220-plus cancellations stranded thousands at Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg, and Calgary. On February 23rd, there were 491 disruptions at Pearson, with 397 delays and 94 cancellations. Right now, today, February 27th, there are 59 flights canceled and 513-plus delayed across U.S.-Canada corridors. VIA Rail has been in crisis mode. The Siemens Venture fleet availability plummeted to below 50% over winter. The industry standard is 90%. On December 10th, train 669 from Montreal to Toronto had a mechanical failure that stranded 127 passengers overnight at Brockville. 8-plus-hour delay. Frozen conditions caused one train set to be stranded in Belleville for several days from a seized axle. Frozen doors on the Siemens fleet forced VIA to run all trains' locomotive forward to mitigate snow ingress. The week of February 9th saw 35 train trips canceled on 8 routes along the Ottawa-Montreal-Toronto corridor. The economic toll is staggering. Winter Storm Fern, which hit January 23rd to 27th, caused total damages estimated at over $4 billion across North America. The Pimachikamak repairs alone are estimated at a minimum of 44 million Canadian dollars. Montreal is spending nearly $200 million on snow removal this year, with 3,000 workers, a 1,000 vehicle fleet, and 10,000 kilometers of streets to clear. 300,000 truckloads of snow are removed annually. Toronto winter maintenance budget is over $100 million per year. The city manager stated that improving snow removal could cost up to $130 million. Ontario provided contractors to clear the Gardiner Expressway and Don Valley Parkway under an ad hoc contract up to $950,000. Edmonton's snow clearing budget is hitting $68.5 million by 2026. St. John's had to get federal permission to dump excess snow into the Atlantic Ocean because they ran out of storage space. Recycling collection was canceled for an entire week. Round the clock, snow removal operations continue. Now let me show you what is coming in the next 30 days, because this is critical information. The Weather Network published their Spring 2026 forecast on February 25th. Senior meteorologist Dr. Doug Gillam's assessment was blunt. Spring will test your patience. The cold pattern is expected to persist well beyond typical winter timelines. March and April are forecast to be colder than normal, or near normal temperatures across most of Canada. The cold pattern break is not expected until late April at the earliest. May is the wild card. It could see an abrupt flip to summer-like conditions. Precipitation is forecast near normal to above normal through at least April across most regions. For Ontario specifically, they are calling it a sluggish start to spring. Warm weather will lack commitment through March and well into April. Late March to early April has the highest potential for below normal temperatures. Quebec shows that winter appears it will finish strong, with colder than normal temps through March and into April. Meteo Media expects potential 20 to 25 plus centimeter storm events in March. The prairies are looking at colder than normal March to April with above normal precipitation that could impact spring planting. Severe Weather Europe published analysis on February 12th, stating that the late winter stratospheric sudden warming event's downward propagation is expected to sustain cold through late February and into March. La Niña's oceanic influence will linger into early spring despite dissolution. Multiple Arctic blasts are forecast into early March as the intense polar vortex circulation persists. The European Center forecasts suggest El Niño could develop by summer 2026, lasting into winter 2026-2027, which would likely flip Canada toward a warmer winter next year. But that does not help us right now. The spring flood threat is very real. British Columbia's snowpack is sitting at 108% of normal as of February 15th. The Fraser River Basin is at 108%. The highest basins are Liard at 157% and Upper Fraser West at 154%. The BC Ministry warns that areas at or above normal have increased hazard for spring snowmelt-related flooding, especially if effects from La Niña conditions linger into spring. Alberta mountain snowpack is normal to significantly above normal. Of 20 sites with 20-plus years of records, 16 had snowpack above normal or much above normal. The Bow River Basin is at 111 to 163% of normal. Basin-wide averages show 44 to 172 millimeters, more snow water equivalent than February 2025. The Alberta government says current conditions are the most favorable observed since early 2022, after 3 consecutive years of low early-season water supply forecasts. Manitoba issued their flood outlook on February 25th, with an overall low to moderate risk for most Manitoba rivers, but there is moderate risk for the Red Pembina Assiniboine Souris and Qu'Appelle rivers. Moderate risk for the Interlake region and portions of Saskatchewan River in northern Manitoba. The key caveat is that risk of flooding will increase should the province receive significant precipitation between now and spring. Ice-cutting operations are underway on Red River from February 17th to March 10th, and Icelandic River near Riverton. Lake Winnipeg and Lake Manitoba are well below normal for this time of year, which helps. An updated flood outlook is expected late March. Ontario conservation authorities are on high alert. Quinte Conservation stated on February 26th that there is higher than normal water content in the snowpack, combined with widespread ice coverage on rivers and streams. A delayed but rapid snowmelt could lead to flooding. Catfish Creek Conservation Authority said on February 17th that this year is particularly troublesome as the ice thickness, snowpack, frozen ground, lake ice, and unforeseen precipitation may make this year's spring freshet and creek breakup difficult to mitigate. Upper Thames River Conservation Authority reported an average 65 millimeters of snow water equivalent in the watershed, and they are already operating flood control reservoirs at Fanshawe, Wildwood, and Pittock. Hamilton Conservation Authority issued a flood watch on February 19th, warning that significant watercourse flooding has the potential to occur. The Weather Network's Dr. Gilham said on February 25th that there are definitely some flood concerns during the spring. At this point, no terribly strong red flags. There is no particular region they are alarmed about, but they are definitely watching. The cooler than normal temperatures forecast through March to April could promote slower snowmelt, helping moderate risk. But even then, just one big rainstorm could tip the balance. Let me give you the current readings and immediate forecast for every major Canadian city, so you know exactly what is happening in your region. Toronto right now is minus 5.2 Celsius. The weekend brings Saturday night dropping to minus 9, Sunday high of minus 5, Monday night plunging to minus 13. Ottawa is currently minus 8.4 Celsius with light snow. Saturday night falls to minus 16. Sunday night hits minus 21. Monday high only minus 10. Montreal sits at minus 8.3 Celsius. Saturday climbs to 8 degrees, but Saturday night crashes to minus 10 with periods of snow. Sunday night drops to minus 19. Halifax is minus 1.6 Celsius. Sunday it collapses from 2 degrees to minus 15 Sunday night. Monday, high is minus 6. Calgary is under active warning right now with 7 centimeters expected before melting late Friday, but areas in the foothills could see 30 centimeters. Edmonton is dealing with flurries and wind gusts to 80 kilometers per hour. Thunder Bay is minus 9.6 Celsius, heading to minus 24 tonight, with wind chill near minus 31. Winnipeg is under blizzard warning, with wind chills hitting minus 45 in northern parts of the province. St. John's has been buried under 178 centimeters in February alone, and more systems are possible in early March. The bottom line is this: Canada is locked in one of the most punishing winters in recent memory. Multiple storm systems are active right now as I record this. An Arctic blast is incoming this weekend that will send temperatures plunging to minus 16 to minus 21 Celsius across Ontario and Quebec. The meteorological pattern shows no signs of breaking until late April. Spring will be delayed. Flood risks are elevated across multiple provinces, and we still have at least 6 to 8 weeks of winter weather ahead of us. Environment Canada climatologist David Phillips said on February 4th that we have had 18 days in a row where we have not seen a melting in Toronto. We are locked into a deep freeze. As far as I can see, it does not seem like a warm-up. We are not rushing into spring here. He described the winter weather as tricky and treacherous as it tightened its grip across Canada. The Weather Network senior meteorologist Doug Gillum said, "An exceptionally early disruption of the polar vortex has set the stage for a steady supply of Arctic air into southern Canada. La Niña has returned. This combination is delivering a truly Canadian winter for most of the country. This is not just cold. This is a prolonged, dangerous pattern that is breaking records that have stood for decades." Toronto. January snowfall of 88.2 centimeters broke a record from 1937. The single-day record of 61 centimeters broke a record from 1965. St. John's February snowfall of 178.2 centimeters broke the record from 2006. Kirkland Lake, Ontario hit minus 43.7 Celsius on January 24th. That is the coldest since 1984. Braeburn, Yukon recorded minus 55.7 on December 23rd. Coldest December temperature in 50 years. 171 people have died from winter storms this season across North America. Most of those were in the United States from Winter Storm Fern. But Canada has seen fatalities as well. One death in Saskatchewan from a crash involving 3 semi-trailers at Broadview. One woman found dead in Montreal West during the power outage. One death in British Columbia from a tree that fell during a storm. 4,400 people evacuated from Pimachikamak, with over 1,300 homes damaged. 20,000 customers lost power in Montreal. 4,450 lost power in Nova Scotia during Hernando. Infrastructure is failing. Roads are closing. Flights are being cancelled by the hundreds. Rail service is disrupted. Municipal snow budgets are being blown through. And the United States is dealing with similar chaos. Winter Storm Fern dumped 61 to 91 centimeters across the northeastern U.S. Wind gusts hit 158 kilometers per hour in Massachusetts. Over 600,000 power outages. Cleveland, Ohio tied records from 1893 and 1899, with 8 consecutive days, with highs at or below minus 8 Celsius. American Airlines called it the most disruptive storm in the airline's 100-year history, with 9,000-plus cancellations. The storm caused over $4 billion in damages across North America. This is a continental crisis. But Canada is bearing the brunt with record-breaking snow totals in Newfoundland and Ontario. Unprecedented cold in the territories and northern provinces. Infrastructure failures in Manitoba, transportation chaos from coast to coast, and a forecast that shows this continuing for at least another month. So, what do you need to do? Monitor your local Environment Canada warnings daily. Prepare for power outages with backup heat sources and supplies. Avoid unnecessary travel during active warnings. Check on elderly neighbors and vulnerable people. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Have emergency kits in your vehicle. Know the signs of frostbite and hypothermia. Stay off frozen bodies of water. Clear snow from roof overhangs to prevent ice dams. Insulate exposed pipes. Reduce electricity use during peak demand to help prevent grid failures. This winter is testing Canada in ways we have not seen in years. The polar vortex collapsed. La Niña aligned with it. A Greenland blocking pattern locked in. And now we are dealing with the consequences. 178 centimeters in 1 month in St. John's. 88 centimeters in 1 month in Toronto. Minus 55.7 in Yukon, minus 45 wind chills in Manitoba. 4,400 people evacuated, 171 dead, over 6,000 flights disrupted, billions in damages. And at least 6 more weeks of winter ahead with below normal temperatures forecast through April. Stay safe out there, stay informed, and make sure you are prepared for what is coming, because this is far from over. The next major system could arrive within days. The Arctic blast hits this weekend. And spring refuses to come early this year. This is the reality of winter 2026 in Canada.